Or, all right. Oh my God. We're live. Did somebody just jump in? All right, guys, we're live. We're having a little, oops, nope, not that. Okay, we're having a little powwow. We have Maurice. We have some more people supposedly coming. I don't know. It might just be the three of us, but we'll see. And we have Tony Patriot. We got some white people up in here. Yo, somebody was like, you need to have more white people. So we got Tony. We got Tony. Tony, where are you from?
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but I moved to Florida looking for a better life down here.
Did you migrate looking for a better life?
I mean, I risked a lot, because I gave up a good job and everything, but I think it was worth it because Baltimore, Maryland's turning into like a New York City type place.
Yeah.
Politically, really?
Yeah, it's bad up there. It's all Democratic run.
So was it just politics too? Was it like the weather? Florida has better weather than New York, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was the weather for me to start, but moving down here has opened my eyes to politics. Just in comparison, I wanted to bring up. I know a lot of black people say when they were young, they were told that well, the Democrats are for the poor people and the working class people. It's not just black people being told that because it's the same thing I was told, and the same thing my friends were told. So, as a young man, I always thought Democrats were for the working people and Republicans were just for the rich people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've all been told that. I mean, so many people, all the walkaway videos that I've seen, they always say that. They always say, "Oh, we were taught, we were just taught. We just never thought about it." And I think this whole election should just open up people's eyes to the fact that we do a lot of things without really thinking about it.
Yes.
we're like, oh, and we're kept so busy and so occupied that we don't really think about it. And I don't really think people will say, oh, human beings are dumb or they're stupid. But I don't think they're stupid. I think a lot of people are just very they're kept busy, they're distracted, they're brainwashed, they're lied to, and that's the issue. Just like children, we're just kind of kept in this arrested development state. So I don't know. I moved to Texas for other reasons, but I'm so glad I got out of California, for taxes and just some of the laws that are going on there. But even though I have people I love there, my mom's there, my brother's there, all my friends are there. I was born and raised there. But if, like wanting to have a family and stuff, I don't think it would be really, it'd be good to do in California, Anybody gonna unmute? Huh?
It's good to make a transition in your life and just move around, because when you're stuck, you're gonna be stuck in it's like when I left Chicago, and I'm always honest with people, like if every time I'm in Chicago and visiting, my mentality comes back. Not saying I will go back to the streets, but it's a mentality that I have, and it's a depression I feel on me again, and I can't live down there again. I gotta move forward. Sometimes it's good to move forward.
That's what they say too. When people need to quit drugs, that they not only need to quit the drugs, but they need to stop hanging around the people that they did the drugs with, because it'll get them back in the same habits.
Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. Because I ain't gonna lie, if I want to West Side Chicago, I get the urge to want to get high. To want to go in and put something in my nose. It's just like it's an urge you get, and so you got to stay away from. It's just like you don't want to drink. Don't get around alcohol, and none of us ain't that strong. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
we all got weakness. We all got weakness.
And especially with drugs and alcohol, it's such a social thing, I don't drink a lot. I'm more of a social drinker, but right now too, I'm just trying to get my liver clean and everything. So I haven't really been drinking. And when I go out, I'll either do ciders or I'll get like, you know, I don't know, virgin drinks, but it's still hard because then it's like everybody else around you is drunk and you kind of want to get on that level with them and you're like sober. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not the same, you know? Yep. And it's not, I'm sorry, go on, Tony.
I was going to say, yeah, I feel you. I quit drinking a long time ago. I'd say about 10 years ago. I drink maybe once a year, but it's hard. It's hard to go hang out at the bar. I went New Year's Eve. I was a designated driver, and everyone around me was getting drunk and having fun and dancing, and I'm just sitting there at the table, you know. It's hard, but it's doing the right thing, you know.
Did you yeah, so you drink maybe once a year and that's it?
Yeah.
Do you have trouble like trying to like you know, not drink anymore anytime after that?
No, initially I did because I used to drink a lot. I'd say I would drink 3 or 4 times a week easily. So when I initially stopped, it was kind of a shock to my system, and it was hard. But once I stopped for about 6 months, 7 months, I didn't want it anymore. It's like, is it really worth? Okay, I get to feel good for a while, but then I get to feel like crap the whole rest of the next day.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you save money.
Yes, you do.
You save money. So I mean, yeah. Well, that's cool. That's interesting. I didn't know that about you, Mo, or Tony, and stuff. So Tony, I'm a pick at you since you're the new guy right here. And it might just end up being the 3 of us. There are more people that are supposed to come, but we're gonna have fun. We don't care, you know.
Oh yeah.
We don't need them. We don't need American Curls and Magnet. No, I'm just kidding. I know, but okay. So let's get to some of the topics this week. I have a list. How about what do you guys think of the Jussie Smollett situation? You're from Chicago, Mo. Yeah, like you could give us some insight on that.
It was fake news. It was fake. Dude was on his little booty call type of stuff, man. Had a little scar on there and a little scratch, like it was cat fight. It was like a cat fight right there, you know. And Rahm Emanuel, we're gonna stop this. This not even gonna happen out here. No, it was all fixed. It's a liberal district. It's a liberal district. Chicago is a liberal district. It was not. They want to blame it on the MAGA people. The MAGA people. Oh, come on, man. Cut it, man. Cut it. It's that is not real.
Are you reading the Swiss cheese comment?
Huh?
Somebody said this story has more holes than Swiss cheese, and they just
what's her name? That's the bro. Yeah, but this is wild. I'm like, whoa, what the hell, man? Are they in desperate? I mean, is they that desperate, V, for real, yo? Is they that desperate? Because they have not happened. It don't happen in Chicago.
Well, first of all, you're from Chicago, so you know that area, and it's like, why would 2 like hardcore thug racist guys be walking around in that area, right? And they just happen to have a rope,
right?
Like at 2 o'clock in the morning, like shaped in the shape of a noose. Like I've tried to like tie a noose. That stuff's hard. Like, you know, it's not easy. It's a difficult knot. You know, you have to learn how to tie. They just happen to have that, and they're just like gonna. And then I'm like thinking they're gonna pour the bleach, but if it's below 0, then it would just probably freeze, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, what happened? What happened? There's no footage of him being assaulted. He won't turn over his phone, and I kind of think that he was trying to cover for something, whether he was getting drugs or booty call or both, or you know. But I just think that the what do you call it? The atmosphere is so easy now to just throw blame at like racist Trump supporters from their side, because they, you know, everybody has these boogeymans in their head of this is what they do and how they are. So he's just like, oh, I'll just blame it on the Trump supporters. Yeah, that's a ticket, you know. or somebody put him up to it, you know. But I think because I feel like they're also getting desperate after they, you know, ran those poor little Catholic boys through the mud.
Man, Trump supporters don't act like that. They don't act like that. I'm just saying we don't act like that. We don't act like that.
People are people, right? You know, I wouldn't say, you'll never see a Trump supporter that doesn't act like that. For the most part, all my hate has been, that I've seen since this election has been coming from people on the left side.
Yes.
Do you know Suzanne Monk? You know Suzanne, right?
That's my girl.
Yeah, she's awesome. Have you heard of Suzanne Monk, Tony?
No, I don't know her.
She has a channel. You guys should follow her on YouTube. She's really cool. When I went to DC last year, I met up with her and we hung out. She's an awesome lady. And her and her husband ran out of Chicago. They lived in Chicago too. Did you know her when you lived in Chicago, Mo?
Yes, they invited me to the rally. Look, when I was going to beat Antifa's ass, she was, you know, she grabbed me like, hey, we don't act like that. She was right there. She was the most aggressive one.
But don't you just want to break your foot off in some of their asses?
Hell yeah.
They're just so mean and just so, hey, what's up? Okay. Hey, you didn't have to ask. Just jump on, dude. You have the link. So, so anyway, I'm sorry. Going back to Suzanne Monk, I brought her up again because she was kicked out, or she was basically ran out of Chicago. Her and her husband owned a music store, and they sold ethnic instruments, and they even had a Bernie band come and play. You know, and they didn't support Bernie, but they still let a band come and play in their shop because they would let people come and play music in their store and stuff. And then somebody outed them as Trump supporters, and they never discussed it with their customers. They never talked politics with their customers, but somebody outed them as being Trump supporters, and they got death threats. So they basically ran out of Chicago, and you know, had to basically had to sell their store, all their inventory, and move to DC, and that's where they are now. And then, you know, Breitbart's been collecting a list. Now I think it's that last time I checked, it was 618. Now it's 639 violent media approved attacks on Trump supporters, whereas on the left, there's nothing like that. And I know because I've been searching for it, and I've challenged people to find me a list, and anything that they have has all been made up. Even the guy, the synagogue shooter, his picture said, his Insta or Facebook, I think it was his Instagram, basically said that he hates Trump. He's not a Trump supporter. And he was mad at him because Trump supports Israel. But, you know, as the mainstream media does, and they're lying selves, they you know, run with the story. You know, they don't, you know, they just want to put this narrative out there. So.
Yes. Wait. It was just saying about Suzanne Monk. You know, they kicked her out of there. They basically kicked her out of there. They don't want people like us down there no more. They really want to turn it into a they want to turn it into like a California, New York, and which it have turned into the California, New York. Chicago is a joke now. It's a bunch of punks, a bunch of cowards, and Chicago used to be more thick-skinned when I was growing up. We was proud Chicagoans, and we don't give a damn what we say, and we were not politically correct. Now they're being PC in Chicago now. Chicago have never been like this before, whether you're Democrat or Republican. You know, now they turned into a bunch of sissies.
I mean, I don't know. I talk to my mom, and I'm always saying I've never seen politics like this before. I've never seen it. She's older. She's almost 80. So she's like, yeah, whatever. I've seen it like this before. But I just don't think, I don't know. But I respect that to a certain degree because I'm not that old, and she's definitely seen more stuff than I have. But even talking to other older people, they say that, you know, that have been heavily involved in politics, they say that they've never seen anything like this before. And I think a lot of it does have to do with social media. But, you know, and the fact, too, that, like, the divisiveness is coming from the fact that the media has always lied to us. They didn't just start lying since this election, but now we have the internet, and we have we have camera phones. We can prove that they're lying. right? We can tell our side of the story as lay people, as citizens. And then there are people that just don't want to believe that the media is that corrupt. And that's where like the division is coming in, I think, you know. Anybody want to comment? We're talking about Jussie Smollett, Uber guy. And
I'll throw in there.
Go on.
Yeah, you know, he's definitely hiding something. Why would he not turn your phone over? Number one. Number two, you know, supposedly had some serious injury, and it turns out he has a couple of scratches on his face. So yeah, like Mo said, fake news all the way. Also, real quick, I just want to touch on something you talked about on your last panel, the midterms. I was highly disappointed in the midterms overall because I really thought Republicans were going to come out. We were going to win the House. We were going to win the Senate. And we turned up, but the Democrats turned up bigger than us. And they took over the House, which was disappointing to me. But here in Florida, I was very happy because we got Ron DeSantis over socialist Gillum.
Yeah.
And he's doing a lot of good things. I know you used to be a teacher. He just, I think yesterday or the day before, signed a bill getting rid of Common Core math. That's
yes.
A thing. Yeah.
Yes.
That needs to go.
Yes. Well, the whole system. Have you guys ever seen? You guys should look at this interview. Her name is Charlotte Iserby. And it's spelled it's spelled where Iserbyet. Something like that. There's like anyway, Charlotte Iserby, and she talks about the plan. And this is like, this interview was like in the 70s where she's being interviewed and she's talking about the plan to basically, you know, dumb people down. And I don't think it was called Common Core, but what she described and what she was taught was that basically that was part of the plan was to have that. So you guys should check that out. But yeah, that's cool. I think a lot of the elections were stolen because, as you know, as with the Project Veritas undercover videos, you know, they were using a lot of illegals to vote. So I think people actually did come out in full force, but they just stole a lot of the elections. I think that's what really happened.
I agree totally. And another thing it did was Brenda Snipes had decided to retire. You know, the corrupt lady, the voting lady, Brenda Snipes. You know what I'm talking about? The one that was really messing up the votes and trying to cheat in Florida. Well, she had decided to she had put her resignation in. Rick Scott had suspended her, which made her PO'd. So she took back her resignation. So as soon as Ron DeSantis got in there, he said, "You're no longer suspended." And then my first action is going to be, I'm going to accept your resignation. So she's gone now.
My thing, man, Jussie Smollett, right? Hello?
What's that?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, with Jussie Smollett, my bad, I was doing something. That man needs to come speak to the media as soon as possible. If I'm not mistaken, tonight he has a show. He's still performing and everything. I feel he needs to be in cuffs or a suit or whatever, because that put a lot of people's lives in danger. Just that night, just putting that information out there, that's extreme. That's like you need real help if you were lying about that and put that out there just for a political statement. That's not cool. Like, I know people that are hardcore Democrats and looked at that as like, that's not fair, that's not cool. And you know, that, like, who does that? Like, seriously.
And wasting resources, because when you lie like that, they're policemen that are their energy is being taken away from people that really need help, you know?
Right. Like isn't that like a federal offense? Like pretty much making up, like, because you got the president involved with it. You can be influencing people to try to start a race war or assassinate Trump or anything. Like, you're putting people's lives in danger. Like, so that easily can be a charge. I think this is far from over. Because it doesn't look like they're taking their foot off his neck. They're still asking for the cell phone and proof because he caused an outrage.
Yeah,
And
I mean, yeah, go on.
I'm so glad. I mean, not saying I'm glad it happened. Like if he got jumped, I'm glad that this happened because even Democrats or people from the left, when they look at this, that's going to help Trump 2020 because it's going to realize people are going to realize Trump derangement syndrome is that real that you have people making up stories that don't even make sense. It's crazy.
Anybody else want to comment on the Jussie Smollett situation?
Okay, what I'm saying on this is you right, Uber. You know what I'm saying? You are 100% correct what you said. This stuff is, man. I'm gonna say that they should. That I feel they should do more investigation on stuff like this. Right there is trying. It's inciting violence right there. Inciting violence right there, and like Maxine Waters inciting violence. He's doing the same thing, inciting violence, and I mean we got to look at this because they're trying to start World War III. They're trying to start this right now, and we got to fight this. You know, this stuff has to be investigated. Stuff like that. It's not little. People can look at that as little, but that stuff is not little. All right, next. I'll go ahead. I'm just. Oh.
I just want to throw in there another thing that's going to help Trump 2020 is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They're making themselves look like a couple of jackasses. And, you know, for all those people doubting Trump, you know, he's a smart man. He's a negotiator. Let him do his thing because he's going to get the wall. And at the end, he's going to make Chuck and Nancy look like a couple of idiots. And he's going to be reelected in 2020. Mark my words. So he knows what he's doing. You know, for the conservatives, I've seen a bunch of them jumping off the bandwagon. Who am I going to vote for now? Things like that. Don't be so quick to jump off the bandwagon. The man knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of he's kept a lot of his promises too. So I'm not you know, jumping off the bandwagon yet either. Plus, I mean, who are we gonna have? Like Kamala Harris or you know, Cory Booker? Oh, we'll get to that though. That's on the list to talk about. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the first president that I've, you know, paid attention to in my lifetime and noticed that he's really getting a lot of his promises fulfilled. So I realize he's up against a lot. He's only one person, you know. The deep state, the corruption is really deep, which I was talking to somebody the other day. He's an older guy, but he was we were talking about like how he was just depressed because he's just seeing all of this going on, and he's really, you know, it's really exposing how deep the corruption in this country is. And I mean, you know, a lot of people didn't know this. Some people knew it was this bad, but a lot of people are really starting to figure that out. Anything else on the Jussie Smollett? I'm gonna move on to the next one. Anybody else? All right. Next one, the abortion bill in New York. You can say more than ha.
I think we all got a lot to say about that.
I'll let y'all go first with this. let me breathe for a second.
Number one, they're killing babies. All right, this is unacceptable. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. I mean, they're killing babies that could live outside of the womb. And to see them cheer was like watching an evil satanic cult. It's disturbing, very disturbing. I've said multiple times on Facebook and YouTube, you know, if they want to murder babies, maybe it's time we fight murder with murder. It might be extreme, but you know, maybe it's time we get our
Lord,
we get our guns and we fight back, because murdering babies is not okay, especially babies that are fully developed and that can live on their own. It's freaking disgusting. That's all I have to
say. My thing with it, I don't want to hear not one more lefty ever try to say that anything on our side is immortal because you're killing babies at birth. Come on, like how could we take them any type of serious? And then the way that they talk about it is bizarre. Like I'm saying, I think there's going to be a lot more people that are liberal or lefty or not even liberal, whatever. The Democrats are just shooting themselves in the foot, and it's only been 1 month. I can't wait for February. It's going to get real. It's going to get real. And I seen a meme somebody made. It's so true. What was it? I can't remember. Said why have to lynch them? Because it was a Jussie Smollett thing. It was like why have to lynch them when all they have to do is get abortions, and the black population is literally declining.
Deep. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
Yes.
What's really interesting too is the new abortion bill in Virginia. I mean, the one that they're trying to push in Virginia. Did you see that interview where the congressman was interviewing the congressman's interviewing her name is Tran, I don't know his first name. They wrote the bill and they were saying, he was like, so you can have an abortion up to birth. And then she's like, well, if the doctor and the patient, if the patient chooses to do so, that's between her and the doctor. And he was basically saying something to the point where, like, if she had the baby and she still wanted to abort it, could you abort the baby? And he was like, oh, well, they can, they can choose to, like, kill the baby. And then he's like, well, what if she changes their mind? Well, they can resuscitate the baby. And then I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? But check this out. She also wrote a bill to save cankerworms. Did you hear about that? So she's fighting to save cankerworms.
Yeah.
Cankerworms.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
The same lady that wrote a bill for cankerworms to save them. So she cares more about cankerworms than she does human beings.
Wait, what? Hold up. I can't believe that's wow. That is so
look this up. I had to look this up today. I was like, are you serious? I was like, I must be lucid dreaming.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what the heck?
But yeah, I wrote, and then I was trying to look. I'm gonna still do a little digging. I'm trying to see if there's anything like in the Bible. Well, there is because that's one of the I think they had the plagues. I'm not really well versed on the Bible, so I know some of my subscribers are. You might want to correct me on this, but I think that was one of the things. It was like locusts, and one of them was like cankerworms or something like that. Maybe they were called something else, but I saw some references to that as well. So I don't know if this is like a Satanist thing with like she's trying to save the cankerworms to kill the baby. It's just really bizarre. It's really bizarre.
God help us all.
I have a question as men. I mean, I never really thought about how abortion affected men until I dated a guy who had the girlfriend before me had an abortion without telling him, and it just like broke him. And I just never thought about it because I was like, oh, men don't really care about it because they don't have to carry the baby. So I think a lot of people kind of have that attitude. But as men, like, how do you guys feel about just the act of abortion? And before this bill happened in New York, when the argument was, oh, it's just a clump of cells. Did you still think abortion was murder?
You talking about how us men feel about abortion, right? Okay. I'm gonna say this. I was raised and taught that thou shalt not kill. That's always how I felt my whole life. And when I first found that my girlfriend was pregnant when I was 14 years old, I said, no, she wanted abortion. No, you ain't getting an abortion. I don't believe in it. Guess what? My son, if I would have got an abortion, I would have had my beautiful grandson right now. And I'm glad that my baby was born, even though I was 15 years old. I'm glad it happened. And babies are a freaking gift. They are God's precious gift. I had my first child at 15 and I don't regret it because I love my son. And that's it. I love my son.
Amen to that, Mo.
I got my second child at 16. My daughter. She got pregnant early. I love my grandson. I got custody of him. He's 16. He's not 16. He's 12 years old. So babies are not a mistake. They are not a mistake. They're a gift, whether you had them young or not. People need to get out of that. I knew a lady. I don't care. I'm gonna say this. I knew a lady that was a rape baby. I disagree with that. I hate that. I want to cut somebody's whatever from doing that. But this woman became a powerful testimony. to help other victims. So we need to get out that victim mentality and help the next person. Next.
I saw this. I'm working my next little mini movie. I'm researching abortion, and I saw this testimony of a lady. It's on live action. If you guys, anybody wants to see it, but she was raped. She was raped, brutally raped, like with, not to be graphic, but she was physically raped by the man. And then they said that she kind of blacked out. So they said that they found, like, pieces of broken bottles and stuff. I mean, it was like brutal, right, inside of her. But then they found out she was pregnant, and she still decided to keep the baby. And she was saying that actually the baby helped her heal. And from her point of view, she was saying that, like, that it would have been a double trauma for her to not only have rape, but be not only to have been raped, but to have an abortion on top of that. And I realize not every woman is going to feel like that, but I just thought it was a very interesting point of view, because the way that the narrative is spun, you just think that, like, that's the only option, and all women, that have experienced that, like, that's their only option to get out of it. Anybody else want to comment on the abortion bill? We're still on the abortion bill.
Yeah, I'll say I agree. It's always been murder. Now it's just more, even more so, because now you're murdering a baby that could live on its own.
I can't believe it. It's just, I mean, because I can kind of, I mean, I always thought it was murder, but I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know. The fact that now the baby's bigger, I'm picturing like just a full baby that you just can like kill. Where, when you're picturing, like, I think a clump of cells, is that they would say, it's still murder, but I don't think there's that much of a conscious connection to it, because, you're thinking of something small. Maybe it has feelings, maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's a spirit inside of it. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's not fully formed yet. There's some people like, but now it's like a full on like baby that can live outside the room. It's just straight up murder, And I also wonder how many people are going to actually take advantage of that, to wait that long to have a baby, have an abortion up to that age as well. I don't know how many people would really go through with it. Do you think a lot of people would go through with it?
These leftist lunatics, yes. But have you guys, any of you saw any of these late-term abortions on Facebook? Because they're graphic, but they're showing them.
Yeah, I saw it on live action. That was yeah.
Showing them delivering the stillborn, and then they chop the baby into pieces. It's disturbing.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's unreal. It's unreal.
Pieces.
Oh, I saw this other testimony. I don't know if I'm just putting the video. Well, I guess I can talk about it. But there was this lady that owned an abortion clinic, and this is even more twisted, you guys. She said that she would purposely, what they would do, right? They plant themselves in the community, and they would purposely give them birth control pills that were low dose or didn't work well, and condoms that were like the cheapest condoms, because they knew that they wouldn't work well either. And they knew that by giving them those things, when they got pregnant, that they would come to them. And they would do abortions without their parents' knowledge. And she was talking about, like, there was a 12-year-old girl that went in there and they gave her an abortion, didn't tell her family. And she went in and put her clothes in, and she didn't come out the room, and it was taking a long time. And she went back in and she killed herself. She brought some glass in and slit her wrist right after she had the abortion. So I've known a lot of women that have had abortions, and I try not to be judgmental, because I think that we've just been brainwashed in the society. First of all, the women I know, they always regret it. They never really get away with it. There's serious psychological and physical effects that come with it. And they just make it seem like it's no big deal, and that you're a sissy, and you're not, like, you're not, woman enough if you grieve over having an abortion. So I think there needs to be more support for people that want to have their babies. And me, I mean, just like I said, just talking to people too, more support for women to come out to be honest about how they really feel about it, because I think a lot of women just, you know, society is just pushing them out there. We have abortion, suck it up and like get on with it. And if you feel bad years later or you're still having issues with it, you know, then it's your problem.
I lost the sound with somebody.
Oh, anybody else want to comment?
Okay, here now. I lost your sound for a second.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. I hear you now. Okay.
Yeah, I just muted it so we don't get feedback. And I'm also trying to read the chat and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Anybody else?
I'm good.
No, I'm good. I said my part. But, you know, this has to be stopped, and conservatives need to fight back. We can't just sit back on the couch and talk about, oh, this isn't right. You know, we're a bunch of spineless sissies. We need to be fighting on the streets of New York. What's the other state? Virginia. You know, we need to be out protesting, not sitting back on our asses doing nothing about it.
Oh, well, I don't think protesting is going to do any good, but what I think is going to happen, I think they're going to really push to defund like Planned Parenthood. And that was one of the things that Trump talked about. And I think that's one of the things that needs to happen, because they're an abortion factory. They're not giving women health checkups.
Trump tried to defund Planned Parenthood and got blocked by judges. So
what would it take? Because now we have Kavanaugh, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to kick the bucket. So will we have any leverage there? I'm still learning how this works. Do you know how that?
I believe so, yeah, because if you're not happy with the results, it can go to a higher court, which would be the Supreme Court. But I'm sure you all heard that there's no set in place that there only has to be a set amount of Supreme Court justices. So when the Democrats take over, they plan on adding more Supreme Court justices to add more liberals onto it.
Wait, what? Could you say that again? I'm confused.
Okay, so there's what? How many is on the Supreme Court? 7?
9.
9? Okay. So we have 5 conservatives, 4 liberals. When she kicks the bucket, it would be 6 conservatives, 3 liberals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no written law saying that you have to have 9 Supreme Court justices. So the Democrats are already planning for when they completely take over again to add enough so that the liberals can have the advantage again. So Trump needs to be doing something now, putting a law in effect now, saying 9 Supreme Court justices are the limit. And if he doesn't, our future is bleak.
Well, how would that work? I mean, I can see how they would want to do that, but how would that work?
Well, there's no law saying that they can't.
They can just add a law? They can add a bill, like, or something? Or
no, they can add Supreme Court justices. There's no law saying that there has to be only 9. There's nothing on the books saying that. So they can decide, okay, well, we're going to make it 11 now. And they can add 2 more liberal judges. I've read this from multiple articles. So
who would the House determine that, or like who?
I don't know the specifics. I'm still kind of new into politics too.
Okay.
Until I moved to Florida, I was just like the Democrat, you know, the brainwashed Republicans are for the rich and Democrats are for the poor, you know.
You're like, I'm just trying to wrap. Yeah, I get it.
And I moved to Florida like 4 years ago, and it just opened my eyes. And then Donald Trump came along, and you know, and it's history from there. I've been 100% into politics since then. So I'm not really sure exactly how it will work, but I did read multiple articles saying that that's not only something they can do, but something that they're planning on doing.
This is hell. It's like never ending. It's never ending. You know, God, like, you know, but I think that is going to be the next push, is to push to defund Planned Parenthood, and they should. It shouldn't be federally funded. There shouldn't be an incentive. you know, to have women, you know, abort their babies. The money that's being made off of the fetuses is being put in vaccines and flavor enhancers for food and stem cells. And for people that, you know, want to say their argument, oh, we need stem cells to help people that want to, you know, walk and stuff, but you can have adult donors to donate their stem cells, and they're actually, those stem cells are actually more viable than a baby stem cells, as there's a scientist, Teresa Deischer, testified. So talking about that's it's even better for, you know, adult donors that want to donate their stem cells, as opposed to newborn babies' cells. So there are a lot of companies that are making money off of the abortion too. And I also, you know, I think it is sick, this kind of like cremation of care, you know, situation where the Illuminati want us to participate in, because now it's just getting crazy. It's legalized murder, you know. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Murder.
It's murder.
Don't get me started. Legalizing murder. So since they legalize abortion, is they gonna legalize when a baby's born to pull a cord or whatever? Is they gonna legalize that? I mean, man, some got to stop right now. Defund Planned Parenthood.
yeah, I mean, I don't know like what the next step is in that, but I think that's gonna, a lot of people are outraged. So I think that's the next thing that they can really do is defund, you know, make it harder for this to happen now. All right, I'm moving on to the next one unless anybody wants to talk about have anything else to say on the abortion bill.
Well, just one more thing. I say 60% of people are probably against abortions. So why should we be forced to pay for it? That's bullshit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Plus, well, as far as women, I know it's at least about, last figure I saw was 50-50. But you add men onto that, it's probably even more than 60%, I would say, of people that don't agree with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's time to defund Planned Parenthood. You want to lay down and spread your legs like a whore, guess what? You might get pregnant. And
well, I mean, even, you know, you don't have to be a whore to get pregnant, you know, stuff happens. Even people that are on birth control and use, you know, condoms, people do get pregnant.
Okay, well,
but I think that people really need to, I think we're in a society where people don't really think about the consequences of sleeping around, and that does end up being the case for a lot of people. And I think, you know, people need to, we just live in this flippant society where people don't have this very bleak, you know, nonsensical, like disrespectful view of life. And I think that's the main thing. Sorry, I just wanted to, you know.
No, that makes sense. But I'm just saying, I mean, yeah, we do sex for pleasure, but I mean, sexual intercourse is for having babies. There's other things you can do. You can pleasure each other without having sex or being extremely.
No.
What are you talking about?
I'll say that for them.
Have the woman on the pill and use a condom.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really, I mean, that's a whole nother panel, but I'm more for teaching women about their cycles, and men, like men and women need to, we're so far off, like how our body, nobody knows anything about how our body really works, and we're so dependent on pills and vaccines and all this stuff. So I'm not even really for birth control pills, because, you know, there's high risk of cancer, depression. I personally was on them, and it made me a crazy person. A lot of these women are probably crazy. Like, I don't even think I'm exaggerating, because birth control pills, the hormones mess people up. It makes it harder for you. It can make it harder for you to have children later on down the line. You know, you mix like birth control pill with SSRI drugs. It's just, I mean, there's the Billings method. There's also the the rhythm method, the billing is supposed to have a better rate, but I think it's about. I think I have a radical view, but I'm more about teaching women and men, because men need to understand how it works too, and men need to understand how it works too, so they don't get tricked by women. How the reproductive system works, and how they can have sex on for a certain amount of days and this, and then you follow the cycle, and it's maybe a little bit more work, but not a lot of bit more work, and in turn it makes for a healthier person and society, I think so.
I agree.
Make a quick run. My bad.
Okay, yeah, come on. We'll probably be on until about 9:30, but come back. If not, you just make the next one. But thanks for popping in.
Good to see you,
Yes,
guy.
my bad.
Yeah, okay. Bye, brother. I'll text you soon. Okay, bye.
Take care, man. Hey, I just wanted to say, me and my wife have been together for 14 years, and we have 2 children. And both children, we decided we want to have a baby, and that month she was pregnant. So, like you said, proper planning, education.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we did. We didn't use condoms, and she wasn't on the pill for health reasons.
Did you do the rhythm method, or you just knew her cycle?
The rhythm method. Having sex during the right times of the month, pull out,
Pull and praise. You did some pull and praise.
It works. 14 years. We decided to have my son, and that month she was pregnant, and then five years later we decided to have my daughter, and that month she was pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, and condoms aren't bad either, but they're just they're not fun. They don't feel great.
Yeah,
they're just not.
I don't wear them because you get no feeling. It's like having sex with the air, but that's a different story, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Pills can miss abstinence the only way, but to be realistic, yeah, abstinence is the only sure way. But I mean, come on, people love sex. We love sex. And so I mean, just to be really realistic.
Yes, I love sex.
Yes, I mean but we also have this culture of shame around sex.
Hey, I do. Everybody know this. That's why I got kids.
But I'm just saying, I mean, okay, so the stuff that they're teaching in school about the gender fluidity and all that stuff, that's nonsense, right? But they, when you do get sex education, I think this is the stuff that we were just talking about that should be taught. And when I remember, they talked to us about birth control pills and condoms and stuff, but I didn't know about the rhythm method until I became an adult. I didn't know about that. I really understood how my body works. And this is what they need to be teaching kids if they're going to teach kids in school. I mean, I guess I kind of really don't even believe they should be teaching it in school. I think that's the parents' job to talk to their children about it. Actually, since we're on that, I just brought that up. Did you see the video about the guy that the parent went up to the school because the teacher put his son in a dress? Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it, and he had every right to be angry.
I thought he was gonna hit her. That's one time I think a man could have hit a woman. I would have been okay with that.
He really did control himself well. He was a gentleman, but he got his point across. She's not going to be dressing that boy like in a dress again. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, but I was mad for him.
Oh,
I was mad for him. Did you see that, Mo? Is Mo around? Anyway, yeah, I couldn't believe it, and apparently, I don't know if you watched the whole video, but apparently, he did it before, and I think the mom went up and confronted her, or she did it before, and the mom went up and confronted her, and then she did it again, and then he went up and confronted her, and like you said, I don't think she'll be doing that again either.
Yeah, he definitely said this is the second time you've done this, and his son was what, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
So he couldn't be making the decision on his own. You're putting my son, this boy, in a dress, and he said we don't play that. We don't play this transgender stuff and cross-dressing stuff. Don't do it again.
God, I'm so glad I'm out of that system. I guess I'd have to quit, but what if that was my only job at the time? And but we had to teach this stuff. I mean, it's sickening. You know, sexualizing children at an early age. How about just teaching your child to be a good human being? Because that's what my parents did. And when I did encounter people that were gay, it wasn't like a big deal. Like, you know, as long as they were good people, they were nice, it was cool. Like you know, but see, this is what the left does too. That just like with black people, they use identity politics with gays and you know, people of color, black people, you know, to control them, right? They use that identity, right, and as a way to like make them controllable because they feed on their insecurities about that. You know, go on, Mo. Sorry.
Wow. Identity politics. It's funny. You know, so which it ain't funny, but it's an expression what I'm saying. It's a slogan what I'm saying. Uh, People don't know their identities, so they're trying to find themselves in this. So they're so busy. I don't know how to say this. Trying to feed off. I'm saying identity. They're trying to find themselves, and it's sad. You got a lot of liberals. You got liberals trying to find themselves. You got people in the conservative movement that are trying to find themselves, and it goes deep, y'all. It goes deep that I don't even want to say too much. I just want to throw that out there to you, V.
You know, I was thinking about today. Do you think like why a lot of black people vote Democrat or a lot of black people are so entrenched in identity politics and so hung up on the victim mentality is because a lot of African Americans in the country don't know their African roots, and they feel like the only way they can stay rooted to that is through like slavery.
Yes. I've been saying this.
Oh, okay.
I've been
kind of thinking about that today, like, you know, because that's one thing. Like, I look at like other white people and other people of other races, and you know, that kind of they can trace back their bloodlines and they know exactly where they come from, and they don't seem to be under as much control as like black people. And I wonder if that, you know, has something to do with that. What do you think, Tony? Do you know your roots? Do you know where your roots, Tony?
I know I'm mixed, but I'm mostly Italian. My grandfather was 100% Italian. So I do know when Italians and Irish first came to America, they were also lynched.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, they saw Italians and Irish as criminals and as kind of like how we, you know, like they just didn't want them coming here. So I claim Italian, but I know I'm mixed with a few other things: Polish, Irish, and a couple others.
No, yeah, I did. I found out about that last year, and I was astonished. I had no idea that I know Italians were lynched. I didn't know about the Irish. I know there were Irish slaves, not indentured servants. There were indentured servants too, but straight up slaves. But I guess my point is like at least the black people that came here as slaves, the families were split up. We didn't know the language. We couldn't, you know, so we don't really even have, you know, we don't even know where to begin to find our bloodlines, our African bloodlines. And I think because it's rooted, in this country, it started with slavery. That's why there's so many people that are still trying to hang on to that mentality. You know what I mean? They can't you know, they can't let go. It's stubbornness, right? Like, and there's always movies too. There's always movies like about the Holocaust every year, and then there's movies about like slavery. And slavery, it's like if it's not a slave movie, there's a movie about like the civil rights. like you know, to kind of, it seems like it's like kind of keep us in that status quo, you know. I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there, but I just it's
they just want to control people.
Yes, they do. They want to control people.
And they want to do it by their race, by their sexual orientation, you know, any way possible. The Democrats want power. They want to destroy America because the worse off we are, the more power, the more money they have.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen this, and you know, I've seen this go on in other countries. And have you seen that Charlotte Iserby interview, Tony?
No.
You should check. Have you seen that interview I was talking about, Mo? The Charlotte Iserby Mo interview.
Hey, what you say? What's that, V?
Have you seen that Charlotte Iserby interview, Mo, that I was talking about?
No, I didn't see the interview.
Where can we find it at?
I put it. I'll put in the links after the upload. If I don't do it tonight, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
make sure you throw me a shout out in there too. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I will, and I'll put your channel and stuff in there as well.
My subscriber count is sad.
What is your wait? Plug your channel really fast. Where we're talking.
What's that?
Plug your channel.
Put my channel?
Well, no, plug your channel. What's the name of your channel?
Oh, Tony Patriot. So TONY space Patriot.
Okay, and then I'm gonna get your link so I can put the I
appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 200. So.
Oh, you need more than that. You can do that, and then you can start monetizing as long as they stop. As long as they don't censor you. But yeah, the Charlotte Iserby interview. So she's basically talking about like how they're gonna do this. They have to dumb down America through the education system, and that was with the Common Core. And then when they do that, they're gonna they're gonna like move it up to the colleges and and then they're gonna it's fascinating. It's fascinating because once you see that interview, you're going to be like, oh shoot, this is exactly what's happening. And America, because our foundation was so strong with the Constitution, they, the elites know that it's going to take a long time. Yes, John Taylor Gatto also to bring down America. So they had to do it systematically. Where other countries that didn't have this foundation like we had, it was easier for them to be taken down because they were able to do it faster. But with America, they had to wait a few generations to be able to get to where they are now, because they had to make sure that the people in the country were like dumbed down. And that she specifically said that it's going to take a couple of generations. And now we're at the tipping point where it can go either one way or the other, Anyway, all right, KKK picture. What do you think? You guys know about that? The KKK, the governor of Virginia, Northam? Thoughts on that?
The KKK picture, I don't know. Tell me, no, I don't know about the KKK.
Oh, do you know, Tony, do you know?
I heard something about it, but I didn't really get a chance to read it. If you want to tell us about it.
Yeah, because that's something I would love to cover, something like that.
Yeah, so you guys will look up the governor of Virginia. His yearbook picture was just discovered when he was 20 in, I guess, med school, and he was in blackface next to somebody dressed like a Klan member, and I think he was in the Klan or something to that effect, and they've been calling for him to resign. And then he did a press conference. He said he apologized, but he said he wasn't resigning. He admitted that was him, and now they're trying to say that, oh, it wasn't him. So it's just really weird. Like, but the thing that makes it weird is I don't even really care because, he was younger. You do stupid stuff when you're younger. Maybe he was in the Klan then and he's not now. I don't know. But if it was the other way around, people would have been losing their mind. They would have shut down Facebook. Like, you know what I mean? They would have been rioting in the streets if it was a conservative that had that picture. It's just the hypocrisy is just unfathomable, So I guess we won't really talk about that because you guys don't really know that. But that's what happened. So you guys should look that up.
Yeah, I did hear things about it, but it was just like bits and pieces here and there. I also saw like it was a white Democrat in a news meeting with a black conservative Republican, and at the end of the interview, the black Republican put his hand out to shake the Democrat's hand, and he ignored him, and then he put his hand out even closer in front of him like that, and he ignored him again. He refused to shake the black man's hand.
Damn.
You're talking about a white Democrat and a black conservative.
Wait, where
was
the
white Democrat? I think it was Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Was this recently?
Yeah. This just happened.
Okay.
I just saw the video today. I was
Okay.
like, wow.
Huh. All right, guys. We're down a little bit. I mean, now we're almost down to about 15, 20 minutes. I'd say. I think I'm gonna cut it quits. But
All right.
Cory Booker, Kamala. I kept saying Kamala, but I think it's Kamala Harris. What are your thoughts on them running?
Who's your favorite clown? Bozo. That's my comment on that word. Bozo. Clowns. It's the clown. I said to myself that the next person that's going to run for president against our president, Donald J. Trump, is going to be the biggest joke of all time. And I'm sticking with it.
The Rock. Well, I mean, what do you think though? Like, I mean, I don't think. I think they're gonna rip each other to shreds, and then a friend of mine had a really good analysis, but he was talking about Julian Castro. Do you know him?
Julian Castro, I heard the name.
Yeah, he's not really, but he could be a contender. John Miller of what's the name? You guys know John Miller. Anyway, he did a really good breakdown of the possible contenders for the Democrat Party. But what's his name? I think it's Julian Castro. I think that's his last name, Castro. He's a twin, and actually he's a senator. He's a Latino, and he has an identical twin brother that's also Joaquin. So it's either him or Beto. I think they're gonna run against Trump. What do you think, Tony?
Come on, Tone. Bring it, Tone.
Kamala Harris, she's a joke. She loves seeing black people in jail. This is a fact. They tried to exonerate a man after 13 years that was pretty much put in jail for the wrong reason, for possession of a pocket knife. He served 14 years. She fought against that. Her excuse was he took too long to prove his case. He had already served 14 years for possessing a pocket knife. I mean, just if you really look into her records and the things that she's done, you would be convinced that she has stock in prison systems, because she just wants to see people in prison.
You know, I wonder if there's any way to find that out, because there are people that do have stock in prison systems. I think, and the Clintons do. But I wonder if there's a way, like, you can find out. I mean, it came out that they did, but I wonder if there's a way that you can actually look that up and see,
it would expose.
You know, who has stock in. And then somebody was telling me that Dianne Feinstein has stock in the voting machines. And that would be interesting to find out too. I don't know. Anything else? Roger Stone. I think I put that up there. Yeah, Roger Stone. What do you think about his arrest, you guys?
How ridiculous. You know, you could have called his lawyer and the guy would have turned himself in. What a fiasco. And how legal is it to call CNN and tell them to meet you there? Pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and they were the only news station that knew that.
Right. The FBI did it. The FBI called them and told them to meet him there. Or at least one agent, if not multiple. So we know there's still corruption in the FBI.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And what are they arresting them for? They're arresting people that don't have anything to do with it's a Russian collusion investigation. They're arresting people for fibbing on a car loan application.
Yeah.
And they're arresting this person for doing that. It has nothing to do with Russian collusion.
And I'm just like, I'm sorry, go on. Yeah, no, go on.
I was going to say, he's just finding anything just to make it look like, okay, all these millions of dollars he spent wasn't for nothing. See, look, I'm arresting people. But it has nothing to do with collusion. So, it still makes no sense.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, when is Hillary going to jail? Like, I mean, I still am hopeful for the wall, but I'm not really hopeful that Hillary's going to jail. I feel like when I believe it, I'll see it. But how all these people are getting questioned and how they trying to go after Trump and they're not even going after Hillary when she's admitted, like it's like she tested like all the emails that she erased and all the. I mean, it's unreal. And her foundation and what she did to Haiti and the trail of dead bodies that, anybody that was going to testify against them ended up dead. You know, she doesn't like, she's a real racist. She'll talk about racist with her racist mentor from the Ku Klux Klan.
The same chick that put hot sauce in her purse.
Yeah. Now instead of the hot sauce now, because they're going out the illegal vote, it's going to be salsa. Like, I don't think she might run. She might run, but I mean,
I hope she do. For people can see if she went president. I'm saying not sure she won't, but sometimes I'm in a mode like, you know what? I'll prove a point to y'all. You know what? Be careful what you wish for, nigga.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like that too, but it's too serious now. Like
I know.
Serious now.
Come
and
on.
you have grandchildren, so you can't be like playing like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but yeah, I know. There's part of me too that's just like, all right, well, maybe they need to see what they're like. But I live by the border, like.
But if this is gonna happen though, what's destined to happen is going to happen, and maybe we need to take a step back and let folks see.
Yeah, but I also believe that we're speaking out, we're doing what we can. There are other people that are doing what they can for a purpose. If it's going to happen,
okay.
If you think that's it doesn't happen, it's going to happen. But we also have free will. People say stuff like that.
Free will, right.
We have free will, so that's the thing that's what makes us human. Is we have free wills.
Yep.
So I mean, we can't really, we can do what we can. Like I'm not doing much. I'm trying to get people together, talk, have my little opinions going, and I think the more people's opinions that we have going, and the more people that have channels and are speaking up, it's going to give people the courage to do the same, or B, just put ideas in there. We need to throw ideas out there for people to ponder.
Yes.
Because the narrative is being controlled so much that
yes,
a lot of people, like one person may say something and another person, like you would say, oh, you know what? I never thought about that. Like, why didn't like I learned this on the news or in school or something like that? I'm going to look that up. And then as soon as you know it, the world has changed, So I just think that that's important, You say we're not doing much. We're not superheroes. We're not rich, but, when you can, I can't even do like a live stream every day, but I'm trying to do what I can. I can't go out right now and do man on the streets and interviews, and then people that can't do, they can't do any of that, or they're scared or whatever, they can donate or they can send people information. I mean, we're all doing something,
Absolutely. This is what made me start doing it. I've never considered myself a good speaker or anything, but I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing to help? And that's when I finally decided to make my channel. I think it's getting better, and hopefully it grows. But I'm trying to do my part. If you don't want to make a channel, just support everybody. Subscribe to everybody. That you agree with or people fighting for conservative values.
Yeah. Share their things, donate money, share their links, right. send them information. I appreciate the people that also send me information.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of stuff I know, but a lot of stuff I don't know. And sometimes somebody, send me something like, oh, I had no idea. Let me check this out, So, I mean, it's all appreciated.
Hey,
anyway.
I want to show you real quick. I do have a Mexican here. She came over the right way. Her name is Bella.
Hey, Bella. What do you think about the wall, Bella?
Build that wall. She's been hanging with us.
Okay, I think this is a good time. I'm so tired, you guys. And I'm sorry. I know a lot. Like, we were supposed to be bigger today. A lot of people had to bow out. Like just a lot of stuff came up. Either people are away. I know somebody was having phone issues, and but we'll have to have you on again, Tony. Okay. Would you plug your channel?
Absolutely. Number one, I would love to come on again anytime. So please, invite me. Yeah, my channel is Tony Patriot, Tony Patriot, with a space in between.
Is there like an underscore or just a
Nope.
space?
No, just
okay,
a space.
there's a space. Okay, Tony Patriot.
Yeah.
There's no other Tony Patriot.
There's no other.
You're the only one.
Yep. I'm the only one.
Okay.
Believe it
cool.
or not.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm so glad we finally got to like meet because we correspond in the comment section, but don't really get.
I've been following you for a long time since it was you in April. Like I said back
oh
when
wow.
you started.
Oh, thank you. I know. I want my homegirl to come on back. Like she's badass too. She's but right now she's dealing with her. She's being a homeschooler. She's dodging that Common Core stuff, homeschooling her kids right now, and it's just been a lot for her. She has 3 kids, so but yeah. All right, guys. Mo, do you want to say anything? You promote your channel.
What's up, bro? Hey.
Wake up, Mo. Wake up.
All right, I'm back.
I said, did you want to promote your channel? I'm about to bounce because I'm really tired. Okay. And I wanted to go about an hour. I was going to go a little longer if it was bigger. There was more people that had stuff to say. But
right, dig it.
This is a good time.
Go to Maurice Delp.
Moreese.
Yep.
Because people might think it's spelled the other way. And then Delk, Delk.
Yep, Delp. I'm a Delp. My real name is Maurice, but I say Maurice.
Maurice, yeah. All right, guys.
Hey, don't forget Maurice Delk has 3 channels too. Subscribe to all 3.
What?
He has 3 channels, so subscribe to all 3.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
You got your backup and then your backup.
Yeah, in case they flag me.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Man. I'm sorry. So we'll have to go longer next time, but thanks for reaching out. And all right, guys. Until next time, peace, truth, love you guys. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Peace. Mwah.
Mwah.